down a short cul-de-sac, the sort of place where people twitched their curtains when a new car appeared in the street, and where there were lots of signs that said, "No ball games," above tiny patches of grass, as if an entire gang of kids could somehow use it to play the world's smallest game of football. Billy landed at the bottom of the stairs and gave his Nan a hug. She was here to babysit. "Hello, lad," Nan said, and started to shuffle into the living room. "Right," Mum said, and turned to Billy. "You know what to do. It's the usual routine. Not too much TV, don't eat lots of sweets, and no, I repeat, no dancing on the tables again." "Don't worry, I'll look after her," Billy said. Sometimes it felt like he was the babysitter, not the other way round. "I am capable of looking after my grandson, you know," Nan said gruffly to Mum. "The table dancing was a one-off." "I don't want to talk about Skittlegate." Mum glared at them both. "Not again." "We'll be fine," Billy said calmly. Mum had no idea of the dastardly plans that were being hatched inside his brain. "Look, I made you some rock buns, lad. I know they're your favourite," Nan said, reaching into her handbag, not into a cake box or a napkin, but into her actual handbag, and taking out a cake that must have been sloshing around with her keys and dirty change. She handed it to Billy and beamed at him. When he was 5, Billy had made the mistake of saying he liked them, which Nan had taken to heart, and now claimed they were his favourite. Billy always tried to eat them, but the darn things were so hard that he'd never got past the outer crust. It was like giving a hamster a coconut and telling him to tuck in. Billy assumed that Nan had misread the recipe and used real rocks to make them, rather than, say, flour and eggs and actual edible stuff. A few years ago, someone had tried to pinch Nan's handbag, an awful thing to do to an old lady. But Nan, being Nan, and thinking on her feet, reached into her bag during the kerfuffle, grabbed the first thing that came to hand, a rock cake, and cracked it over the attacker's head. It knocked him clean out, and Nan became a hero. She even appeared in the local paper with a picture of her holding a rock cake like it was a hand grenade. Since then, she never left home without a cake, or the recipe for that matter. "Thanks, Nan." Billy smiled and pretended to take a bite. "Yummy! So very firm and not like these modern cakes that melt in your mouth." He grinned. Mum gave Billy a knowing look. "Right, son," Mum said. "We're off shopping. Your birthday isn't too far away, and we have lots of other things to get done, so we'll be gone for a few hours. But remember, any mischief and Nan will call us, and we'll be back here straight away." Billy nodded, knowing that this was basically a lie. Yes, there was a phone in the house, but Nan had no idea how to use it. Billy had seen her pointing it at the TV not so long ago to try and get the snooker on BBC Two. "Of course, Mum." "Don't forget your homework. It's history, isn't it? You have to write about meeting a historical figure. I know creative writing isn't your bag, but please try and make an effort. So as soon as we're gone, crack on with it. Me and your dad— where is he?" "Steve!" Mum yelled. "Anyway, we'll be back as quick as we can. Steve!" "Coming!" Dad sighed. The prospect of missing the football to go shopping was not an appealing one for him. "Are you ready? Do you have everything?" Mum asked. "Yes, keys and— well, that's it, right?" Dad said. "Let's go," Mum said with the steely look of a general about to send her troops into war. The door slammed, an engine revved, and the two were gone, off for an afternoon of wandering around the shopping centre and trying not to fall out with each other. Billy smiled and clapped his hands. Now it was time for the real plan. Time to send Nan to sleep for a few hours while he got on with some proper exploring. "This way, Nan. What about a nice cup of tea?" Billy said. "Nice and milky with 5 sugars." He smiled. "Let me get your special cushion. Look what I recorded for you on the digibox."